Hi everybody, this is your curious Chef Cleva, and today, May 13th, is National Apple Pie Day. So, to be honest, even when everyone always says the American phrase is as easy as apple pie, but apple pie actually didn't originate in America. It actually started in 1381 in England, and the original apple pie had all kinds of things in it. It had apples, pears, figs, and raisins, and basically it didn't even have pie crust. It had a pastry shell, and it had no sugar. And I would assume the concept is that they were using the natural juices of each item to cook inside without having to use sugar. So, but today we're going to make the modern apple pie, and the ingredients, as you can see, are fairly simple. So you have the 6 apples. You're gonna have them peeled, thinly sliced. We're gonna put them in a water bath. This is to prevent the browning. So you pretty much put them in a bowl with water and a little bit of lemon juice. Next we have 3/4 cup of sugar. We have our 2 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of our dry ingredients and we're gonna put them in this bowl. So 3/4 cup of sugar, two tablespoons of flour, cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon, salt, nutmeg. There we go. Don't forget, clean up as you go. So we're going to take our baby whisk and we're just going to mix all of our dry ingredients together. Now what this does is, as you can see, you have your cinnamon, your nutmeg, and your flour all clumped up together, all by themselves. So we're pretty much going to bring everybody together. Until you've got this mixture. Everybody's all together. So now, as for the apples, no, you are not going to dump this into your pie crust. We're going to drain this from this bath, and then we're going to bring everybody together. So, quick little trip to the sink. Have our strainer here to catch anybody. Whoop. So now, as you can see, our water bath did its job. So now that our apples are free from their bath, we're going to take our dry ingredients and our lemon juice and drizzle on the top. Dry ingredients. Now I'm going to use gloves, but you can definitely use a rubber spatula, a spoon. You basically want your apples to be completely coated with your dry ingredients. So just dump everybody in here. And a quick little mix. And I generally just naturally, out of habit, just spin the bowl just to make sure I get every bit. So like, for example, a little chunk here. Nope, so I'm just gonna spin the bowl just a little bit. You don't have to, it's just a force of habit for me. And then you see everybody is nicely coated. Up. Cool. All right. Next step is going to be our pie crust. So with our pie crust, I have it pre-rolled here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our pie crust into a glass baking dish. If you are not comfortable doing rolled out pie crust into the baking dish, that's perfectly fine. You can definitely just use the ones that come in the metal pan that you see in the grocery store that are pretty much in abundance during the holiday season. It's perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll it out. I'm going to put this one behind. Roll it out. And the dish that I'm using is 9 inches. So if you go to the grocery store, make sure it's 9 inches, so that way it can hold all of these apples that we just sliced and coated. So you take your pie crust and you put it in the dish. Do not grease your baking dish. It doesn't need it because of the ingredients that are in pie crust. Let's put it here, better use. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the pie crust is flush against the pie dish. And also you want to make sure that a little bit of pie crust comes up on the top, and you'll see why in a minute. Everybody's up, flush, flushing up, flushing up, flushing up. Okay, great. Okay, so once your pie crust is pretty much in the dish and flushed up a little bit, you can now put your apple mixture into the crust. You need a rubber spatula or a spoon if you have it handy, and just make sure you get all this great stuff into your pie crust. Cool. So you're going to take your spatula or your spoon and you're going to even everybody out. No escaping. So once everything is in, you're going to take your second crust. This is going to be your top crust. With the top crust, you have a lot of options with this. If you want to be fancy, you can cut it into shapes and just lay it across so it can bake, and it'll bake the shape. Or you're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to keep it real simple, and we're just going to cover our top with our top crust. So roll it out. Very simple. Cool. So once you lay it on top, you want to make sure that everybody meets everybody. That's why you want the bottom crust to come up. Let's put this to the side. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is, as you know, when you go to the grocery store, you see that cute little design that's called fluting. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it and you're kind of going to pinch use your fingers, and you're going to pinch and push. So I'm going to start here because it's difficult to stretch across. So you're going to basically pinch and push, pinch and push, and you're going to go around your pie. This pie dish I'm using actually has a bit of a divot, so it's a good guide, but if yours doesn't, you can just use your fingers and just pinch and push. So push, pinch. And obviously, depending on how big or small your fingers are, will determine how big or small your flutes are. So pinch and push, turn. No need to stretch across. You just turn the pie dish. And as you're doing this, you're actually making sure that the seam is closing between your bottom crust and your top crust, as you can see from the glass. So pinch, push, all around. Usually during the holiday season, you will definitely see little shapes like leaves or pumpkins, even apple cutouts. It's kind of interesting that today is National Apple Pie Day, when you hear mostly about apples around the fall. Alright, so now that our pie has been fluted all around, as you can see, what we need to do next is take a simple knife. It could be a paring knife, it could be a butter knife, as long as it has a nice sharp edge to it. And we're going to create little slits. So now the slits are going to be used to release any air, because once everything is cooking inside, think of it like a crock pot. So you want the air to be released because you don't want it to dome over. So we're going to create a couple of slits, about like 6 to 8 should be enough. So just to get you an idea, just go straight down. So north, south, east, west. And then you can just do a couple in the middle, just so that north, south, east, and west. Don't have to do all the work. Now, once your pie is fluted, come together, and you have your little slits, what you're going to do next is you're going to take a baking dish. Your baking dish is going to be kind of important because you don't want all the juices and all the thing that's going on in there to bubble over onto your pan, onto your oven bottom. It's going to burn. It's going to be really tough to clean off. So you simply take your pie, put it on a baking tray, and we're going to put it in the oven. You're going to set your oven preheated for 425. So, in here. All right. Okay. Cool beans. So your pie is going to stay in the oven from about 45 to an hour. It depends on the browning of the crust and how soft and tender you want your apples to be on the inside. So it has been at least 45 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to check to see how our pie is doing. Okay. All right. Cool. So we're going to take our pie and we're going to just test it out real quick. As you can see, the crust is super golden brown. And our slits did their job because there's no doming. Everything is nice and flat. We're going to take the knife we used earlier just to dig down in it and see if our apples are tender enough to pretty much consider this pie done. They're actually really tender. If they weren't tender, you could definitely put it in the oven for 15 minutes longer until the apples are as tender as you want them to be. It's good. I approve. So we're going to take the apple pie, have it cool off for about 3 hours roughly, because keep in mind in here is really molten lava. You have hot sugar in here. You don't want to bite into that. Apple pie goes great with as itself on its own, vanilla ice cream, whatever you prefer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys all enjoyed National Apple Pie Day. Please, if you like this video, subscribe, like, comment, and if you have an actual item that you're interested in learning about, feel free to put it in the comments, and I will do my due diligence to see if we can get it in another video.